Hungry to Cook with Politics and How It Affects You, and I am here this week with our favorite sheriff, Chuck Edge. How are you?
Doing fine, ma'am, and you?
Good. It's good to see you again. Last time I saw you, I was at the jail.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, but I was not getting booked in.
That's correct
So that was
statement.
good.
There's a yes, no.
Because you would have helped me, wouldn't you, if I was I can call you. Okay, so first of all, I would just want to talk about the fact that last week I did a story about the jail,
Yes, ma'am.
and you don't have any COVID-19 inmates or anybody that's there with it still. You're still doing
We
a great
still
job.
do not. I mean, and
Okay.
obviously we can get one at any minute, I guess, if somebody comes in. But so far, we are COVID-free. The staff has been amazing.
Okay.
The jail staff, the jail administration have done an awesome job.
Okay. Yeah, because I had to have my temperature taken, and what else did they do?
Medical questions.
Medical
and
questions
everything
and-
outside the door before you ever come in.
Yeah, it's really impressive. So, one thing somebody had told me, and I think it was a police chief from another state, but he said that they are still booking people and then letting them go so that they can go find them later, like taking their fingerprints and their mug shot and then letting them go. Is that, like, I would be out of the country by then.
We're not doing that. We did slow down who can come into the facility. If there was an opportunity to issue a citation,
Okay,
instead of making an arrest, we encouraged our law enforcement partners to do that.
okay,
But if it was an aggravated case, anything to do with sexual assault, anything to do with child, anything to do with violence, we never shut the jail down for that. And we
Right.
did try to get some folks out if we could, but we did not try to get aggravated cases out of there. We
Okay.
did not do that.
I have a call coming in because somebody must be watching and want to talk to you now, so we're going to ignore the phone at this point. So, so now there's only 290,531 fatalities around the world. So I mean, for all the things that have happened, I know you can't really talk too much about it, but it is, what do you think about that number? It seems like it's it's interesting.
Well, interesting is one word that I would use. Yes, it is interesting. If it was as bad as they say it was going to be, then I figure that number would be much higher. But you know, I guess
Like maybe like around.
I guess I can
millions.
say it that way. We've been blessed in Ellis County
You have.
not to have as many cases as they thought were going to be here. The hospital staffs have been amazing. They prepared for everything, and then we wind up not having as many cases, and we're grateful for that, and we're grateful for the hospital staff and all that they've done to prepare for it, and then to get back to normal as quick as they could when we didn't see the overall numbers.
Okay. So I had heard that suicides were up and domestic violence, but we talked about it before the show, and you said in Ellis County that's not the case. So
We're not seeing those trends. We did, you know, expect a trend like that, like many of the other counties did, but you know, thankfully we're blessed that those trends did not occur in Ellis County. We haven't had the increase in family violence, and we haven't had the increase in suicide. As a matter of fact, we're down a little bit. We've seen property crimes continue to go up. Some of the same crimes that would go up when kids are out of school for the summer, or
Right.
people are on vacation and away from their homes. Some of the property crimes, we've seen that, but a lot of the assaultive offenses or the family violence offenses, we haven't seen an increase.
okay, what do you think is like the most unusual thing that you have experienced in the last 2 months as a law, because you've been around for a long time, in this whole pandemic situation that we've been experiencing here?
Well, I was a little bit surprised that everybody sheltered in place, if you will, for as long as they have.
Really? They're still sheltering, aren't they?
I figured we'd see a whole lot more people out. And one of the other things that's been funny is how easily we've accepted some of the restrictions that have been placed on us.
Yeah, let's
And,
talk about that, because I think those are against the Constitution, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, they are.
Some
I'm not a constitutional lawyer, but I've been policing since 1982, so I know a little bit about it. But one of the other things is how quickly we're, you know, we hear a lot of it, especially in some of the bigger cities and all. Hey, if you see somebody out violating these orders, please call in.
Right.
Well, we didn't see a whole lot of that in Ellis County, neighbor telling on neighbor.
Yeah.
We saw businesses telling on businesses because this business decided to open and somebody in the same type of business didn't.
Right.
So they made sure they called and complained, but we haven't really seen that much of it. But, you know, a lot of the shelter in place or the word quarantine's been used, but we know that's not the appropriate word. But just so everybody knows what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I've never believed that that was the appropriate way to handle it in Texas.
Okay.
But I'm not a medical professional, and I'll have to say that right off, that, yeah, by separating, by staying indoors, I'm sure it helped the
Sure.
situation. But when it comes to the enforcement side of it, no, that one doesn't work for us real well.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, Ellis County deputies, we have not filed a single charge
Really? Okay.
for those
All right.
type offenses. And part of that's not just, you know, our department philosophy of we're gonna go by the Constitution and not
Right.
these other orders. But some of it is just the citizens and visitors to Ellis County
Mm-hmm.
have been awesome throughout this whole process. And we're grateful and thankful for that.
Okay. Also, I think you mentioned to me like about a month ago that shelter in place is not even really the appropriate thing that you would call it anyway, right? Because that would just be if you were having a hurricane or something. So that's kind of a
It is a
awkward-
terminology that we use. Hey, there's a, you know, seek shelter in place. There's a tornado coming, or there's
Right.
a catastrophe coming, and it's either imminent or it's on the way, and you may dodge it or you may not.
Okay.
But the shelter in place order, it has a different terminology that we're used to, and not this widespread that we're seeing.
Okay. All right. So we'll be right back after this moment after this break.
Ellis County Press TV is proud to have this segment sponsored by Ferris Tire and Auto. Family owned and operated. With over 30 years experience, Ferris Tire and Auto provides fast service, fair pricing, and quality work you deserve. From new tires, oil changes, state inspections, and more, Ferris Tire and Auto is open Monday through Saturday, 208 North Central Street in historic downtown Ferris. Ferris Tire and Auto.
Hey, and we're back. We're back. So I want to talk about something happy now. Tell me about the parades and all the different things that you guys are doing for the seniors that are graduating, and just for the different things. Like I think there was one in Ennis this week or last week, a parade. Were you in it?
Well, there was a parade. I wasn't in one for the graduating seniors. Okay.
Okay.
But, you know, I mentioned the hospitals and how amazing they've done.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, we have Baylor Waxahachie and we have Ennis Regional.
Right.
But, and we did parades for them. And we drove around in the squad cars, the sheriff's
So the sheriff's
office,
department did the parade.
the sheriff's
Oh,
office.
well, that's cool.
And
Okay.
the
All
fire marshal's office.
Okay.
And we just drove in front of the hospitals and around the hospitals and waving and thanking them for all their dedication and all their service during this time.
Okay.
And we didn't do one for Mansfield Methodist.
Okay.
And of course, Mansfield Methodist is not technically in Ellis County,
Right.
but a lot of Ellis County citizens go to that hospital.
Right.
And Methodist is building a hospital currently. It'll be opening up here late this year, be early next year. I can't remember.
Okay.
But it is a Methodist hospital, and it's going to be in Ellis County. So
Okay.
we like to thank them and keep their numbers involved in the situation, because it does, as close as they are to Ellis County, it does impact Ellis County.
Sure.
But yeah, we did. We got out and drove around Baylor, Waxahachie, and Ennis Regional, and we had a good turnout of officers that showed up,
Okay. Are
and
you
we had
doing
a good
another one?
turnout from the employees that
Okay.
came out to see us too, and it was a good time, and we really appreciate all the medical staff at the hospitals.
Absolutely. And are you doing another parade?
I've-
Because you know I'm going to ask to be in it.
I've got one. I've got one that we're looking at that I was notified about the other day. So I have to make sure the schedule and everything works out. But
Maybe we
yeah,
can get
I'm
some
not the
footage of
biggest
that.
parade guy there ever was.
You know, I can believe that for some reason. I can believe it.
It's just-
So let's talk about something that, and we can all, you know, we have an election coming up. It's it's basically the runoff.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
so I just want everybody to know about that. It's July 26th. Is that the runoff?
July the 14th is
July the
the
14th.
election date,
Okay.
and June 29th through July the 10th, I believe, is early voting for the runoff.
Okay. So you guys remember that Sheriff Edge is going to be running for his seat again, and he's also Brad Norman. So we can mention your opponent to be fair to everybody, the challenger. And it should be a good election. It's kind of a weird time to. Have you had to do anything different as far as what you're
Well,
doing?
obviously, we postponed all the campaigning. It wasn't appropriate for us to go out there, you know, for me to go out there and try to round up support and everything during this times. And we had, of course, busy focusing. I mean, I am the sitting sheriff in a major situation, so
Yeah, you don't have
you
time
know,
to go
I
out.
had to. We had to go to work. It wasn't time to campaign or anything. So we haven't changed anything other than just completely stopping it.
Okay.
And now we're gonna start back up.
And we're being told we have to stop now, so I'm Rita Cook, this is Sheriff Edge, thank you for coming in again, everybody
Yes,
loves
ma'am.
you,
Thank
so
you.
we're happy to see you again, thanks.
Thank you.